Yo, what's up guys? It's Jack and welcome back to another video. Wow, it's what, 2 days in a row now, so let's see if we can keep this going as best we can. But I wanted to talk about something very important, and that is the Cronus Zen, and of course / cheating, because it seems like now more than ever things have gone rampant. It's absolutely insane. And I know that I pretty much like hardly play Call of Duty at this point in time. Like if I get the itch for it, I'll play some World War II or some Black Ops 4. Oh, and speaking of Black Ops 4, I know I'm getting old and everything, and I know I don't play like I used to, like in terms of the amount and the passion and all that kind of stuff. And I know as of recently, I haven't really been using the guns in that game that I usually use, like for instance, the Cordite or the KN, right? Those are my guns in that game, believe it or not. But the last time I played, which was a few months ago, I had trouble getting in top 3. As a matter of fact, there was a few times where I got last place in a fucking free-for-all, man. And previously, I used to be able to like get like top 3 easily with my eyes closed, and I'd win over 90% of my games. So it's like, it makes you kind of wonder. But at the same time, like I said, I know I'm kind of getting washed up, and I know that Black Ops 4 and Call of Duty World War II are not the same. Just like every other Call of Duty is not the same, really, when you kind of put your hands on it. It's like they all feel a little bit different, I mean, but yet the same. But you guys get the point. But I definitely see some sus stuff in the cams, man, in the kill cams. So and we all know at this point that the Cronus Zen Max or whatever the hell it is extremely popular, not just because of the fact that it does what it does, but it's also because a lot of people are starting, like, they really want to become content creators. They're inspired by people that have obviously kind of let's just say, to put it nicely, cut corners to get to where they are today or whatnot, and they're praised for it, which yes, it's absolute horse shit, but it is what it is. You know, they found a way to cheat the system, and they got success for it, kind of like what's her face, Nadia or whatnot, right? Anyway, it's all a game, man. It's all a game. You really can't trust a lot of these content creators, man, especially the ones that are like way up there, you know, the ones that are being represented by like some of these big name companies or whatnot. I'd say like 90 to like maybe 95 or even 99% of them, you really can't trust, man. It's all about the money, and it's all about BSing the audience or whatnot. And more people are getting caught by the day, including some of these big namers or whatnot. But anyway, and it's also gotten to the point to where, here's the sad part, it's gotten to the point to where people don't give a shit either. Like, they don't care. They're like, hey, you know, you cheated. It's like, hey, I don't have a problem with that. And I'm like, really? So when it comes to morality and fairness, man, it's all out the window, man. It's but anyway, I don't want to get too far off on a tangent here. I don't want to go too deep into that, because it's going to turn into a negative video, and I don't want that. But one thing I do want to say is that the games like SM Squared or X Defiant that are going to be coming out soon at some point in time, hopefully this year. I know X Defiant will be out this year, as I previously mentioned in the last video. But the one thing that gets me is that you know, X Defiant is a free-to-play game. That already right there has it cursed right there because of the cheating or whatnot, right? There's going to be a whole bunch of cheats, and Mark Rubin and crew are going to do their best in terms of to counter that, but it's a constant thing. But on top of that, there's also the fact that you got things like the Cronus Zen that are more popular now than ever. I wonder, and I want you guys to answer this for me in the comment section, what percentage of people, and it doesn't matter whether they're good or not, you got both good and bad players doing this shit, right? What percentage of players that are playing first-person shooter multiplayer, or just multiplayer games today, it could be Fortnite, it could be Warzone, it could be Call of Duty, it could be anything, Halo, you name it, right? What percentage of those players do you think are using a Cronus or cheats or whatnot? Like, or you can just break it down. Let's just talk about Cronus. Like, what percentage of players do you think are using the Cronus? Because I think that number is higher than ever. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that I'm running into a Cronus user every gunfight, and if I am, holy shit, But you know, we keep going this way. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be Cronus person against Cronus person. So it's like, you know, you even got a few. I think I saw a clip of a podcast, and I don't really follow it that much anymore. I just did it for shits and giggles because I just happened to see it or whatnot. What is it, like pros catching each other cheating or whatnot, like doing something like a gentleman's agreement or something like that, or something else of that nature. And you know, a pro would get caught breaking it, and then they're like, well, then I might as well break it or whatnot. So that's the kind of mentality that it is, man. It's like you damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. But you know, obviously with something like the Cronus Zen, it's a whole other thing, man. And a lot of people are using it. You got freaking GameStop that's promoting that for like $100. You get one. What is it, on back order on Amazon now? It's like for months or something like that. It's absolutely nuts. You got a lot of people ordering this stuff and pre-ordering it for a multitude of reasons. Some of them because they want an edge in whatever multiplayer game that they're playing, and or because they want to be that next big person on YouTube or on Twitch or whatnot. There's a very small number of people in terms of, like, let's say Call of Duty multiplayer that have legitimately, specifically, and I'm talking about specifically like the pub stomping channels, right? There's a very small percentage of those guys that actually got there legitimately, and the vast majority of them are not even popular or whatnot. All the popularity was stolen by the guys that cheated. You know, some guys are just too real for people to handle, and they're not as popular, you know. So yeah, you got all these and you got all these young folks that are watching YouTube and all that kind of stuff that want to be the next big YouTuber or whatnot. You know, kids want to make money off of doing YouTube, and you can't blame that aspect. I mean, when you make it big on Twitch or on YouTube or whatnot, you could be making more money than a freaking neurosurgeon, and I'm not even kidding when I say that. And those guys make like what, 700 plus K a year or something like that, a neurologist or a neurosurgeon or whatnot. And the fact that you could do even more than that if you hit it big enough is pretty eye-opening, isn't it? So so it's like, yeah, no wonder people want to do that and have your own schedule and all that kind of other shit. But I don't know. I think the number of spaces are literally limited, and for the most part, all the spaces have been taken. And plus, you got a whole bunch of BS going on. So games like X Defiant and Call of Duty, X Defiant, SM Squared coming up. You know, they're really going to have to push. And I remember asking Mark Rubin about this, and I made a video about it, about banning the Cronus Zen or whatnot, because I think I read somewhere a while back that there's a game that's banning Cronus Zen or something like that. So it's like, that would be a really big deal if X Defiant did the same thing. Seriously, if X Defiant did the same thing and were to make something happen to where you can ban a Cronus Zen, that would be great. You know, if you want to use a different controller, use a Brook Super Converter. You know, like I do. Like if I ever play a multiplayer shooter, I've been, over like the last year or better part of a year, I've been using a Brook Super Converter, which is actually used in some tournaments as well. Specifically, I remember hearing about it, like hearing somebody say something about it being used in fighting game tournaments. So, yeah, basically what this sucker does is basically it allows me to use the PS5 controller on an Xbox, or vice versa. Or let's say if I get a Nintendo Switch, all I have to do is plug in any controller into the Brook Super Converter, plug that in, and wham bam, there you go. I can even use a 360 controller, I believe, on this and play games as well, which is, by the way, the 360 is the best controller that Xbox ever came out with all due respect to the current controller and the past gen controller, but the 360 controller overall was the best, in my humble opinion. But anyway, going back on topic here, it's going to be a big freaking deal, and it's going to be a big problem if you let all these Cronus Zens fly around all over the place. Or if there's a way to where if somebody's using it for good intentions, like using a different controller, which you can do, unlike just like a Brook Super Converter, but obviously you can do more on a Cronus with all the cheats and shit like that. Or other attachments, right, that are sold on Amazon that you can just attach to the back of your controller, and wham bam, you've got like automatic fire. You can use you can do a rapid fire, or automatic fire, less recoil, and all that other shit. It's like, damn, son. So all this stuff needs to be taken care of, man, or else the first person shooter community is really just going to go down, and everybody's going to have to be using some other attachments just to have a fair, but at the same time, I mean, how do you find satisfaction in getting a kill that you haven't earned. Really, like how do you get that release of dopamine? I mean, that's fake as hell, man. I mean, I personally don't get it, man. If it, like, for instance, to give you an example, if aim assist were to be even stronger than what it is now in current first-person shooter games, I wouldn't even feel like for instance, like in Metroid Prime 1, for instance, like that, from what I remember, like that used to like log on to like targets very easily. I mean, in a multiplayer setting, that wouldn't be really satisfying for me. And at the same time, it's like there's no skill gap. There's no skill to it when it gets tuned up so much. But anyway, those are my thoughts on the matter. I just want to kind of to blabber on and just kind of talk about it. So I want you guys to let me know down in the comment section what you think of the matter. How many people do you think are using Cronus now, and all the cheats and shit like that? And what are your hopes for the FPS gaming genre in the near future? Because I really want to know, and a lot of you guys know a lot of stuff. Some of you guys that I talk to on Twitter and stuff like that, you guys know a lot of shit, as well as the comment section. So please let me know. What do you think? But anyway, that's all I got for this one, guys. I'll catch you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your day or night, and see ya.